Hi, I'm David Ricks, and this tutorial covers how to insert groups or sets of keywords into your image files as part of a batch operation. If you're interested in learning how to assemble your keywords, see Part 1. With Photoshop CS, you can either enter a batch of keywords to a single image, or you can take advantage of metadata templates for batch annotating images. You can add metadata to a large number of file formats such as JPEG, TIFF, PSD, DNG, and even RAW file formats. One important note about the RAW file formats is that the metadata for these is stored in an XMP sidecar until the image is processed in Adobe Camera Raw or processed through the DNG converter. To add keywords to a single image, you can simply open the image in Photoshop, then from the File menu, choose File Info. The default description panel that opens includes the keyword field right here. At this point, you can simply cut and paste your comma-separated keywords into this field. If you happen to switch to another, here, let's go ahead and get these first. So we're going to copy these, and then we're going to go here and paste. Now you'll notice that this is grayed out, and that's not a big deal because we have shortcut keys. On a Mac, they're Command V, and on a Windows machine, it's Control V. That's the paste command. So now we'll notice here that each of these have a comma in between them. If we switch over to a different menu and then switch back, we'll notice that all of these have now switched to a semicolon. And that's just simply the way that Photoshop keeps track of how each term is separated. It's just the symbol used to separate it. It doesn't show up with those values. With Photoshop, it's also possible to separate your terms with a semicolon or even with a hard carriage return. All are treated equally when inserted in Photoshop. Not true with iView Media Pro. iView Media Pro, they do need to be commas only. Note, now when adding keywords to a single JPEG image, it's actually better rather than doing it here. If we save it here, that's going to subject that to a second round of JPEG compression. So to avoid that, what we'll do is we'll use the File menu within the file browser to open File Info, or if you're doing this, you can also do this from Bridge. Either way works the same. So here we can go in here, we can paste in those words again, we can hit OK, and once that's done, then when we view the image here, we can see that those are showing up in the keywords. To add keywords to multiple images, you need to create a metadata template. This process was covered in the SAA video tutorial number 6, so you might want to watch that again. Since the release of version 2.6.4 of iView Media Pro, devotees have virtually the same function available for their use as those folks do in Photoshop. So let's open iView Media Pro. You can start by opening a catalog of existing cataloged images such as TIFF, JPEG, PSD, or DNG images, or catalog a collection of new images. While it's possible to add metadata to proprietary raw digital camera files, the way in which this is done with iView Media Pro does vary and could result in a loss of the metadata or make the image file unreadable in some future applications or even now. Thus, I don't recommend the addition of keywords or other metadata to RAW files at this point in time. Adding the metadata to DNG files should be just fine, so I'd suggest you convert your RAW files to DNG first if you wish to use that option. Adding keywords as a batch is a snap and can be done to a single image or an entire catalog. Simply flip to the thumbnail view in iView, select a single image by clicking on that thumbnail. You can also select a group of contiguous images. So if we wanted to do this one and all of these in this row here, we just simply hold the Shift key down, click on the next one, and all of those are selected. Or if we wanted to choose, just cherry pick some of the image files, we can just hold down the Command key or the Control key in Windows and select all of those. In this case, I'm just going to do it into one here first. So under the iView Media Pro menu at the top here, there's a little Apple script menu. We're going to go to Annotate. We're going to go to Batch Add Keywords. And from here, we're just going to paste in, and we can actually, this isn't grayed out here, so we can use this one. And that has this long string of keywords. And when I hit Return, We can now, if we click to a different one, we can scroll down here and we can see that all of those keywords have been added here in the keyword section. And if we flip to this one, we'll see that that one has no keywords. Now if we wanted to do this as a batch, we just basically do the exact same thing, except we select all of them. And we can just do the exact same thing, and this will add them to all of the images. So now all of them have those keywords. Now, one important note here is that when you click the OK button, these are stored in the iView database for each of the images that has been cataloged that you've added these to. This doesn't place the keywords into the actual image file. To do that, we actually have to move them to the image file using the synchronize command. And that's under, so while they're still selected, if we go under the action and choose sync annotation, we can choose here the export annotation to original files. And this will support any TIFF, JPEG, IPTC, or XMP metadata, and they export them to the resource fork in all other cases, but that's for Macintosh only. So if you click OK here, you can see this updating, and now it's pushed it out into the original image file. If we went back and opened those up in Photoshop, all those keywords would be in there. So the greatest benefit of embedded metadata is that these same keywords will travel along with your images when you send them on to your image distributor, agency, or anybody downstream that gets this images. For more details, see the Controlled Vocabulary website. Web space for this tutorial has been provided by the Stock Artists Alliance, the global trade organization that's dedicated to educating stock photographers. For SAA and Controlled Vocabulary, I'm David Ricks.